it again.
Well, we have calls to see the new haircut, so the big reveal. I was just reading some of the comments. Welcome, everyone. We're Sue and Dwight, for those of you who are just stumbling upon us for the first time. We're here in our living room. We're going to be presenting some original music tonight, and we have a theme tonight. Our theme is Africa, and these are songs, well, we'll explain them as we go along. I guess let's get started with a song that I wrote after doing some traveling in East Africa. It's called Happy Little Children.
Hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight. Maybe everything will be alright. Wish we all were happy little children, loved and cared for happy little children. Imagine a world of happy little children, what a place it would be. All the world in all its glory, hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight. Maybe it will be alright. All the world in all its glory, hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight. Maybe everything will be alright.
Maybe I should let Dwight in on the knowledge that I actually posted that you got a new haircut. So Dwight's not on Facebook, so
I missed out on all that amazingly incredible information.
Yes.
What a boring life I lead. Yeah, welcome out, folks. This is Africa Night. My shirt is African from West Africa. We're mostly going to be singing songs
from East Africa,
inspired from East Africa, but for some of you who may be from Africa, the continent itself, you may have recognized this as more Burkina Faso or Ghana.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look and see who's here. We've got Carolyn, Lorne, Phil, Robert, Sandra, Hannah, Sandra. Oh God, this is wonderful. Phyllis, Brian, Michael. Oh, wonderful. Thank you all for joining us.
In the house tonight.
Wonderful
yes,
to have you here, and we love your comments. So just keep chatting away throughout the show. Isn't that a switch? You know, usually in live shows we want people to not to chat in the audience, but here we're asking you to chat.
Maybe talk about the relevance a bit of the first song, our Africa theme. Just so
yes, well, that first song,
keep weaving the thread.
Yeah, I had, we did some traveling in East Africa in the early 2000s. And, I admit that and it really opened the world to me. It made me realize that I lived a very sheltered life, I guess. I didn't really realize how life was in different areas. And so it was really eye-opening. And we happened to be in some of the areas during times of strife. And it just kind of reminded me how, little children have have different lives in different places, and just to be aware of that. And I guess my wish is that they always have happy lives.
And adult children too.
Yes, all children. So actually this next song fits in nicely with this, that idea. It's a song called Lucky Me, and I wrote it around the same time actually, just as a kind of an observation that I actually have and have a pretty good life, so I wish everybody did. It's called Lucky Me.
2, 3, 4.
Lucky me, I've got more than I need. Almost seems like greed when half the world is hungry. I know I'm blessed, so then why aren't the rest? Why aren't they lucky just like me? The world is one, we share the same sun, sleep under the same stars every night, all have dreams of better lives, and for some they may come true. Mercy me, I don't like what I see. Violence and inhumanity. The world is one, we share the same sun, sleep under the same stars every night. We all have dreams of better lives, and for some they may come true. Lucky me,
Lucky me,
more
I got more than I need.
lucky me,
Lucky me,
more
I
than
got
I
more
need.
than I need.
Lucky me, I've got more than I need. Why aren't they lucky just like me?
So on our travels in East Africa, we've been to Malawi, we've been to Uganda, Ethiopia, Tanzania, and I'd been working with an organization called Canadian Physicians for Aid and Relief around that time. So I got to go over for work, and I did want to make sure Sue was able to accompany me, because I knew these, going to different places, you learn so much about our world and other people. This next song was written actually from one of our trips to Malawi. And one of the things I observed when we were in Malawi was that the project sites that we were going to were sort of along Lake Malawi, and there was this highway that went all the way up Lake Malawi, which was a long, thin lake. And so cars were just, or not many, but there was this big highway that went up there, and the odd car would go up the highway. And but as it would, including the car we were in, well, I'd noticed just all the real life that was going on just off into the shoulders. And even though people there didn't have cars, they were walking on the highway, they were riding on the highway, they were, and a lot of times it was just little kids. They weren't in strollers and things like that. So I kind of get this idea of a song, how different this was from North America. And the song is about the differences in between the being in a developed and undeveloped world. But I kind of synopsize it, just this image of seeing this little kid just wandering down the highway. Grandparents or parents, are nearby, so it's not abandoned by any means. But it's just so normal there. And here the child would be in one of those big rigs, and not being able to walk until they were 2 or 3. So here's sort of a look at See the Little Baby and some impressions on Malawi. day, living with his grandma, her only family. How was your day? Wake up in the morning, there's no bed, sleeping on the floor, no pillow at your head. Nearest water's 2 miles away.
Put the bucket on your head, no school today.
See the little baby walking by the highway, looking for his mama, passed on Friday, living with his grandma, only family. How was your day? Feeling hungry, there's no store. Go to the garden and look for more. Plant the seeds, then pray for rain.
Your breakfast is just supper again.
See the little baby walking by the highway, looking for his mama, passed on Friday, living with his grandma, her only family. How was your day?
Feeling sick, you cough and sneeze. Could be malaria or HIV.
No thinking freedom at 55.
When you're just trying to stay alive.
See the little baby walking by the highway, looking for its mama, passed on Friday, living with its grandma, her only family. How was your day? See the little baby walking by the highway, looking for its mama, passed on Friday, living with his grandma, her only family. How was your day?
We probably should have warned people that when you mention observations in Malawi, there are some of the sad observations in that song. Unfortunately, we were there during a time when they were in the midst of an AIDS crisis, and so some of the stuff that we saw was pretty devastating for those people. But hopefully things are better there now. We haven't been in a number of years, so. Anyway, this next song actually it's kind of funny when we choose a theme, we try to pick songs that relate to the theme, and we were trying to think of a couple of covers for tonight's show, and then all of a sudden I thought, doesn't Joni Mitchell have a song that has Africa in it that we sang in our Legendary Ladies show?
It was a song we wanted to do, but we didn't know it. So we thought, well, that kind of leaves that one out. Oliver Makutsu's song, Miria, which is beautiful.
That would have been an amazing song. But it's Malian or something, I think.
It'd be in Mali, yeah.
Yeah, so
We'd have to sing it phonetically.
I remembered this song by Joni Mitchell that mentions Africa, and I thought
it must be
hey,
about it, right?
We can fit this one in. It's called Carey. The wind is in
here, Carey, but it's really not my home. My fingernails are filthy, I've got beach tar on my feet, and I miss my cleanings and my fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane, I'll put on some silver. Oh, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you. Come on down to the Mermaid Cafe, I will buy you a bottle of wine, and we'll laugh and toast and loving, smash our empty glasses down. Let's have a round for these friends and these soldiers, a round for these friends of mine. Let's have another round for the bright red devil who keeps me in this tourist town. Oh, Carey, get out your cane, I'll put on some silver. Oh, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you. Maybe I'll go to Amsterdam, maybe I'll go to Rome, and rent me grand piano and put some flowers round my room. But let's not talk about fairy well now, the night is a starry dome, and they're playing that scratchy rock and roll beneath the metallic moon. Oh, Carey, get out your cane, I'll put on some silver. Oh, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you. The wind is in from Africa. Last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, you know it sure is hard to live here, but it's really not my home. Maybe it's been too long a time since I was scrambling down the street. Now they got me used to that clean white linen and my fancy French cologne. Oh, Carey, get out your cane, I'll put on my finest silver. We'll go to the Mermaid Cafe, have fun tonight. I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight. I said, oh, you're a mean old daddy, but you're out of sight.
There's a good song
That's
about
a
Africa.
good song. You know, I'm just going to just refresh this. I'm not seeing it on this screen.
So we're going to take you back to Malawi for this next song. We've played it the odd time during our Living Room Live series. We usually, our story about it usually has to do with the chombo, the fish hanging off the side of the car. But like every good song, it's usually inspired by a lot of interesting things. And that's one of the reasons I wrote a song about my favorite town along the Lake Malawi coast, which is Chinteche. And it's, again, that's this highway. It's along this highway that goes up and down the lake. And on it's a beautiful lake. It's like Wasaga Beach if you're in Ontario. It's like Lake Winnipeg, Grand Beach if you're in Manitoba, one of those great sandy beaches. And there's a little village just off on the other side of the highway. And so we got to meet a lot of people there because we spent a few days in the area. Did some transactions.
Actually, yes.
that?
Oh, let me show one of our transactions.
We have a show and tell
Yes.
with this one. See, it was.
Oh, you know, I was
just
kind
kinda-
of just checking to see who was all there, and I kind of didn't. I missed my cue.
So what's our show and tell
Well,
story?
while we were in Chinteche, as Dwight mentioned, there, you know, we were there a couple of times actually on both
Yeah.
trips, and one time while we were there, this young man came over and he asked if we were interested in buying some art, and he was a real interesting character, a really nice young guy, and he was selling art that was kind of on these, well, I'll show it to you, the one that we bought. It's on kind of an interesting sort of canvas, and
Yeah,
he had
they're
them
all
all
around,
He had them
yeah.
all rolled up into,
Just
you know, just in
Tilt
rolls.
it down so it might
Sorry.
stay out of the light,
Is that
lose
better?
the glare. Yeah,
And
just a tad.
so
More.
we ended up spending a little bit of time with him looking through the pictures, and we did buy a few. And Dwight and I aren't the best negotiators when it comes to.
Well, not in
well,
the development.
yes,
We don't have a lot of
we're not-
motivation to bargain hard.
Exactly.
In a
We're
developing
not.
country.
We don't really like to bargain too hard when we know that people don't have a lot. So anyway, we think that we thought we got a great deal on these photos, and we think that maybe the artist was pretty happy too, because afterwards he was high-fiving a bunch of friends. So I hope that means that he did well on the.
Well, I bought this
pictures.
one for, as you can tell, it's a guy and a girl.
Dancing.
Musicians, singing
playing,
and dancing.
yeah.
I got two others, and it was of an individual fellow, an individual lady, musicians. And I guess the negotiation was so much, and I believe the artist's name is Jim. Jim's favor that he actually said, you know what, can you take another one?
Yes.
So I took another one. I can't remember which one that one is. It's rolled up in the back, you know.
But anyway, we were very happy with our purchases.
Yeah, and I love watching him walk away and actually high-five one of his pals. Again, this is a little village of about 300 people. And so Jim probably, you know,
He seemed happy.
had a good day. And
That's
I'm
good.
glad I was able to be part of his good day.
Hey, I see
Now
a few
this-
more people have joined us. I just want to mention, I see that Doug and Sharon have joined us, and Mike and Michael Ladderut and Dennis.
Hola, Mike.
Oh, this is great. Tony, you're joining us as well. Tony is our bass player in
This
one of
one's
our
in
groups.
C for all you bass players.
Yeah, so if you're playing along, Tony, this one's in C. It's
And
called
there's
Chinteche.
a Chinteche, great sing-along part.
Yes.
Just sing along. Chinteche, that's with a C, C-H-I-N-C-H-I-T, and something like that. Chinteche, so it kind of goes
Yes,
like
do
that.
help me at the end when Dwight does this little round
Do a
part.
round.
I can use your extra voices to help me maintain the Chinteche chorus. So here we go.
Chinteche, Chinteche, Chinteche. I'll come back to you.
They don't have them.
On the shores of Lake Malawi, just down from Uganda Bay, there is a place frozen time and space, a town called Chinteche, 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 Chinteche. I'll come back to you. Fishermen ride the iguana, that's a boat. The boats bob amongst the waves. The paraffin lights guide them to the night. Bring the chambo to the market each day. A Chinteche, Chinteche, Chinteche. I'll come back to you. A mully one, she laughed the kids as off to school they go. While at home is make the gardens grow. Wading through the towering corn, the long rains now have passed. Ears reach up to the sky at last, yeah. The locals head to Salima, the stoners to Encata Bay, the tourist safari in Lawande Park, and I'm going to Chinteche, 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 Chinteche. I'll come back to you, a Chinteche, Chinteche. Chinteche. On the beach, the kids are walking.
Chinteche,
You can hear the fishermen talking.
Chinteche,
Those waves are really rocking. I'll come back to you once again.
Chinteche,
On the beach, the kids are walking.
Chinteche,
You can hear the fishermen talking.
Chinteche,
Those waves are really rocking.
I'll come back to you.
Chinteche, I'll come back to you. Chinteche, I'll come back to you. Chinteche, I'll come back to you. We played that song one of our last live shows, I think, and I really like it. But I want it to be more traditionally African, and I remember just mentioning it, talking about it in the audience, and somebody in the audience said, that sounded like a Jimmy Buffett song. And I don't really have a problem with it, being equated to Jimmy Buffett song. I love Jimmy Buffett, but that's not what I was going for. I wasn't going for Margaritaville. I was going for Oliver
more
Mukutsi. So that
maybe-
song may change.
Yeah. Well, songs are always kind of evolving, actually. This particular song evolved so much that I'm actually not going to play on it, because the way I play it is a little bit different than the way that we recorded it.
Well, Kevin Coyne and I, we recorded with Kevin Coyne, and Kevin and I got this idea. There's a Rolling Stones song called Factory Girl, and we were listening to that song and we thought, what a great song, and we thought that this could use the Factory Girl treatment, which we didn't ask the songwriting girl about that, but so this has the Factory Girl treatment, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and,
I had a little bit different rhythm to it, but I like this rhythm. It's just not one that
it's not in your
it's not in my signature strum.
So Sue, tell us the connection about Africa.
This song, the connection to Africa is, I've told this story before, so some of you may be familiar with it. When we were in northern Ethiopia, we had the opportunity to go see a sunset over the Blue Nile Gorge, but I had always been someone who is so overly cautious that my first response to the question, do we want to see this sunset, was, I'm not sure. It sounds like it might be dangerous, because it was up the highway a little bit. It was in the dark, or it would be dark once sunset came, and things, the gorge there is not like visiting the Grand Canyon or something in North America where there's lots of safety barriers. It's
physically
it is,
but there's no railing.
But there's no railing. So all these thoughts went through my head of reasons why we shouldn't go and see this sunset. But Dwight was so excited about it, I thought, okay, let's do it. And
we were going with local people.
We were going with local people, so I knew we were going to be safe with them, but it's just the unknown of walking somewhere in the dark. And anyway, long story short, we got there. I was so focused on, watching my footing and just being so cautious that I almost actually missed seeing the sunset, because I looked up at just the last minute as the sun just kind of dropped into the gorge. And I thought to myself, my goodness, my overcautiousness almost caused me to miss, maybe for us a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So, I wrote the song really to kind of remind myself that I shouldn't be too afraid to try new things or to experience things, because it's in experiencing things that we get some of our greatest joys.
And if you're not taking risks, but not, you don't have to take big risks. You just
cautious risks, but at least some risks, yeah. So this song is called "Almost Missed the Beauty."
Careful, look both ways. Careful what they may say. Careful, don't talk too loud. There might be a crowd out there. Don't do this and don't do that. Do I look short? Do I look fat? Quit your job, might think you're lazy. Work too hard, they call you crazy. So almost missed the sunset as it slipped into the gorge. I was trying to get my footing like 100 times before. It happened in an instant, blink of an eye. I almost missed the beauty unfolding in the sky. Careful, don't talk to strangers. Careful, so many dangers. Careful, lock the door. Don't know what's in store for you. All our fears take precious time, build up walls and cloud our mind. Waste the time that we've been given, holding back instead of living now. I almost missed the sunset as it slipped into the gorge. I was trying to get my footing like 1,000 times before. It happened in an instant, a blink of an eye. I almost missed the beauty unfolding in the sky. It happens in an instant, a blink of an eye. Don't ever miss the beauty unfolding in the sky.
Interesting, I mentioned how songs are always changing. That even changed from how we ran through it a little earlier today, actually. It was a little bit more mellow. I guess it's just reflecting maybe us being a little more mellow
being
tonight.
artsy. Actually, what I was thinking of, at this particular place that Sue had mentioned, we were on the Blue Nile Gorge,
Was it Jarso?
and the town was called Jarso, and our CPAR had a base camp there, and one of their projects, and this is part of international development, because you had a town up top, and you had this cliff all the way to the bottom, but there were people living in the villages, and they were literally, 10 feet away from each other, except way down. And actually, one of the projects that CPAR had done in that area was just build with the local community a series of steps so that people could communicate with, can be in communication with each other, could walk, visit, share crops, share water, share learning, and everything else. So sometimes just small little things like that make a huge difference in terms of life's the quality of life and such. Speaking of this is another cover song which you may not associate with Africa, but this artist actually later in life went to Africa, did his last two recordings were there. One of them was in Tanzania. It was called the Bwatue, which I tried to learn a number of years ago. Very hard song to learn. But we've been infatuated with Phil Oakes for a long time and love his tunes. And we got a request for a Phil Oakes song, didn't we, Sue?
Yes, we did actually, from Doug. He said he hadn't heard some Phil Oakes from us in a while, and we agreed that we should try and make sure we pop in Phil Oakes songs as often as possible. So this is one that Dwight really likes. It's called
What's That I Hear?
What's That I Hear?
What's that I hear now ringing in my ear? I've heard that sound before. What's that I hear now ringing in my ear? I hear it more and more. It's the sound of freedom calling, ringing up to the sky. It's the sound of the old ways falling. You can hear it if you try. You can hear it if you try. What's that I see now shining in my eyes? I've seen that light before. What's that I see now, shining in my eyes? I see it more and more. It's the light of freedom shining, shining up to the sky. It's the light of the old ways dying. You can see it if you try. You can see it if you try. What's that I feel now beating in my heart? I felt that beat before. What's that I feel now beating in my heart? I feel it more and more. It's the rumble of freedom calling, climbing up to the sky. It's the rumble of the old ways falling. You can feel it if you try. You can feel it if you try. It's the sound of freedom calling, ringing up to the sky. It's the sound of the old ways falling. You can hear it if you try. You can hear it if you try. You can hear it if you try.
The amazing Phil Oakes.
With only a slight connection there to Africa from a song he did later, but do you really need a reason to play a Phil Oakes song,
Yes,
right?
you don't need to. Yeah, you don't have to justify any Phil Oakes songs.
Maybe we'll learn Boitaway at one point. That's it.
Well, this that was going out to Doug, by the way, because he had requested a Phil Oakes song. Now, this next song we're going to do. Actually, we're going to do a little bit of what we kind of realized is a bit of a Gulu trilogy. Songs from northern, or songs that were, I guess, I don't like to use the word inspired too much, but I guess that's what it is. Those songs that were inspired by our travels in northern Uganda.
So here's an assignment for you folks. Which song because you've probably heard of all our songwriters and all the songs we've been inspired by. What's a different word we could use that
for inspired?
That you would like? Yeah.
Inspired by? Yeah. So I'll keep using it until somebody gives me a better word. But this next one was inspired by something Dwight had seen on his first trip to northern Uganda. It was at a time when the Lord's Resistance Army was in northern Uganda, and he was in the town of Gulu, which was kind of the largest town in the area. And at night, all the children, they were referred to as night commuters. They would come from their villages and for the relative safety in the town of Gulu.
And actually, their parents would. This took place in Gulu and near a few other villages, cities as well. But their parents would send them in town because the kids would be targets for child soldiers and female domestics or young wives. And we were again, it was a programming thing, so we were trying to understand what were the needs for the night commuters. And myself and a few other development people were standing on this hill in the middle of Gulu. It was at a school site, and the kids were going to come and sleep there overnight. And as the sun went down, at 7:25, we were up there by ourselves. By 7:35, almost out of nowhere, and in silence, all of 2,000 kids emerged. Many of them with little bags, but most not carrying many things. And what really struck me about the song was that as they went to their beds, and their bed was just to sleep on the ground inside this school. School building. It wasn't being used as a school. They would start singing songs. There was this laughter and singing and joy coming, and yet these kids were living in such dangerous situations. They were here. They were night commuters because of these dangerous situations. And I thought, even amongst all of this
if they can
difficult stuff,
yeah,
there's real beauty in the world. And this is, I wanted to write it down in a song. And this one's called So Beautiful.
one we can't ignore. Got a feeling we've heard it before. Open up the door. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. We got problems that just won't go away. Things aren't working out, no matter what they say. Find a better way. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. Little children sing away their fright. Hear their footsteps walking in the night. Time has surely come for meek to inherit the earth. Give us the hope of a brand new world. Free the people, give peace a chance again. No more injustice, no more us and them, us and them. It's got to end. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. So beautiful, let it slip away. So beautiful, can't let it slip away. So beautiful, can't let it slip away.
As I was thinking as we were singing all these songs that they were all inspired, or hopefully one of you will feed me a better word, they're all inspired by our travels in Africa, but they're so relevant to so many situations, and it's kind of interesting because these were written in the early 2000s, and the situations in the world, and even around here, and with the pandemic and all that sort of stuff, the songs really resonate with current situations as well. So it's kind of interesting. I think that just maybe speaks to sort of the global nature of our world, and how things aren't really that different no matter where you go.
Well, I think the time we were in northern Uganda with the LRA was certainly a unique situation. These three songs that we have, actually, they're all starting with So Beautiful. We're going to do a song called Gulu next, and then we'll do a third song, and they sort of bring you forward from our first experience there in 2004, then 2007 and 2009. So at the halfway point, we went back. This was actually Sue's first trip to Uganda. And when we went up to Gulu at that point, the LRA had actually gone up, been expelled from the country, and they were up in southern Sudan. And so you're starting to see the reconstruction happening.
Yes.
And that was really amazing because during the Civil War, people were living in IDP camps, internally displaced persons camps, and there'd be like 30,000 people there, and they'd live there for 2 decades. Some of them were farmers.
Yeah.
Some of them were farmers, and they wanted to have them go back to their farms, but some of the folks were the younger kids had never farmed, so we were having to retrain farmers so that when they went back to their plots. So that was sort of the next installment, and so that's inspired Gulu and just sort of the courage of the people in Uganda moving from there, and then Sue's song will bookend it on the other side.
Eternal land of Kika, Labongo's great domain. Nomads of savannah wait the healing rains. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, lies our destination. All aboard for Gulu town. Damn the rebel army who kill with no remorse. Damn the mighty soldiers as they withhold their force. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, lies our destination. All aboard for Gulu town. Millions lost within the camp, as far as the eye can see. Shame on every one of us who chose to let it be. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, lies our destination. All aboard for Gulu town. Pray for night commuters who sleep so far from home. Pray for frightened parents who must make their children roam. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, lies our destination. All aboard for Gulu town. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, peace for North Uganda. Peaceful Gulu town. North beyond the river, on a jolly ground, peace for North Uganda. Peaceful Gulu town. Peace for North Uganda. Peace for Gulu town.
So this last of the trilogy is a song called "When the Rains Don't Come," and I actually wrote this while in Uganda, and on the little video that we have on our website and on YouTube, there's a picture of me sitting on a bed with my little blue guitar, and that's the song that I'm actually writing when that picture was taken.
There's also a picture of Sue in the back of a truck, our truck that we were traveling in, and she was in there with her guitar, and the little kids were coming around watching her play.
But the nice thing about the on that particular trip, we had gone back after people were starting to move back into their farms, and they were beginning to farm, and things had been looking up, and then there was this terrible drought, and I thought how unfair that was. They had been through so much for decades, and now to be faced with with a drought when they're trying to rebuild. And so I just felt that was very unfair, and so it's a little bit of a protest song to whoever makes the decision and doles out the fairness. They hadn't been fair enough with the people of Uganda, in my opinion. The song is called When the Rains Don't Come.
Wait for rain, but the rains don't come and the crops don't grow. Work hard today, plan for tomorrow, but the rains don't come and the crops don't grow. Ugandan soil is red and dusty when the rains don't come and the crops don't. And damn all those who proselytize that we all get what we deserve. There's nothing further from the truth. Every time we turn our eyes, another hungry baby cries. His mother's pain cannot be justified. Finally, peace, hope for the future, but the rains don't come and the crops don't. Don't come and the crops don't grow. Ugandan sun is unrelenting when the rains don't come and the crops don't grow. Who decides who lives or dies, and damn all those who proselytize that we all get what we deserve. Nothing further from the truth. Every time we turn our eyes, another hungry baby cries. His mother's pain cannot be justified. That we all get what we deserve. Nothing further from the truth. Every time we turn our eyes, another hungry baby cries. His mother's pain cannot be justified. Forgotten people pray for help when the rains don't come and the crops don't grow.
Yeah, that's a great song. Good song.
Thank you, Susan.
And there's on the video, if you do go to our website and watch it, at the very end, we actually had a clip of the lady farmers that we were with that day, and they were singing a song in the field, so Sue was able to sync it in with the song. It's really nice, a nice finish to that one.
Yeah, they were really wonderful people there. We got to meet so many wonderful people. Well, you know what? This brings us to the last song of the evening. I don't know where the time
Our
goes.
tour of, have you enjoyed our tour of Africa? Have you learned, more important, have you learned something?
No.
Other than the fact that I got a haircut and my shirt is from Paris and not.
Oh, did you
was
buy
that.
that one in Paris?
I bought it. There's a neighborhood, Saint-Ouen, and there's a big African market there. I was walking there with my dad in 1980, and I saw this. There's a pair of pants that match this.
1980.
When he was 80.
When he
sorry,
was 80, yes, which would have been in the
2010.
2000s, yeah.
I couldn't pass it up. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. Well, I guess we're going to end off with, well, before we end off, I should just take a moment and just remind everyone that we do have a tip jar, a virtual tip jar. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to put something in, that would be awesome. We are so grateful to everyone for joining us at these shows, because until we're able to kind of resume going out and playing live in the room with you, this is to us just the very next best thing, where and especially when we see your comments. I've said this a million times now, but after the show we love to read your comments and just hear how you're doing, and what you thought of the show. And so please keep your comments coming,
and we get chuckles. As I said, we get a chuckle out of them.
Well, there's always some great comments. Yes, it's such a treat.
Some real funny stuff there.
Yeah, so we appreciate that. And I'm sure I think just from what I scanned at the very beginning, I think there are some about your hair, so I'm anxious to read about that. I can't get over the difference when Dwight walked in the door after his haircut. I thought, oh, you look like yourself again, because his hair had been getting so long and curly that I guess I was kind of getting used to that, but now that it's shorter again, I feel like he looks more like himself.
Well, I was wearing a mask. My barber was wearing a mask, and we were talking to each other, and I think she said half an inch, and I said a quarter, and then I'm not really sure where we ended up. And
I think it was like an inch.
Pretty sure I lost more than half an inch. But my guess is it'll grow back.
I'm still not comfortable yet with the idea of going and sitting in a salon chair, so I'm still snipping away at my own hair at home, and Dwight's helping me with the back and with the colors. So until I feel a little bit braver to go out, and I won't have any big changes. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. I should think about it. Anyway, well, we're going to end off with a song called Little Child, Big World, and it's about these great kids that I met in Malawi, and every time we sing it, I'm just transported back there and thinking of these sweet kids. So here we go. 3, 4.
Watching every move I make. Fanny, do you know I care? Wish I could take you away from there. Little child, big world. Can you see beyond your borders? Do you know what's there? Little child, big world. Write your name in the sand with a stone and steady hand. Do you know what I see? Beautiful Deacon Benji. Little child, big world. Can you see beyond your borders? Do you know what's there? Little child, big world. Biggers has a big wide smile. His mother loves him more than anything. Will you be my friend? And when will I see you again? Little child, big world. Can you see beyond your borders? Do you know what's there? Little child, big world.
child, big world. Little child, big world.
Little child, big world.
That's for all the little children in the big world, which is really all of us, I think. Well, we'd like to thank you again for joining us. It's been such a pleasure, and we'll look forward to your comments. And we hope you are all staying safe and healthy. And
Yes, the long weekend's coming up.
Yeah.
Schools are reopening, so just remember, just
stay,
counterbalance.
be cautious.
Yeah.
So everybody take care, and we're back again next Wednesday,
Yes.
7 o'clock
same place,
Eastern
same
time. And I think that's it.
Whole new theme requests.
Yes, let us know
We're
if you
happy
have
to
any.
play them if we know them.
Yes, send along your requests. And actually, we have had some good requests for themes. The thing is, we don't have enough songs sometimes to flesh out for those. So that presents a bit of a songwriting challenge too. You know, if we
can
get
do
these great
hyphenated
themes, we
themes.
might have to write some songs that fit them. So anyway, keep your requests coming in. We appreciate them. And everybody take care, and bye
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Have